All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are live in full effect right here, right now. We got legendary, multi-platinum, award-winning hip-hop artist. We got the one and only JT Money live on the line. How are you doing this evening?
All is well. What's up, world? Heavy that. I love the intro.
Hey, man, I gotta say, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been wanting to interview you for almost my entire career, man. So I gotta say that was a big lead up to that just one little intro, man. So thank you, JT, for just giving us a little bit of your time this evening.
Thank you. We here though, baby. We still out here fighting a good fight, doing what we do, doing what we love to do. Heavy that.
But I gotta ask you, JT, I want to take you right back, man, to the beginning of your luxurious career, man. And I gotta ask you, what actually made you decide to get into the music industry initially?
Well, it was never just a plan, you know, like the rap thing was something me and my partners did at school. And one day, once upon a time, me and Dale, my partner who I started Poison Clan with, we started going to this club. It was like a talent night. And Mr. Mix was there one night. And he heard us and said, man, y'all want to make a record? And after we made the record, shit, it's been on since then, you know? Like, okay, I could do this. I can get money this way and, you know, not have to risk my freedom and do no foolishness, you know?
And I also, as well, I bet you anything, whenever Luke Campbell first heard your flow, man, he was probably like, boom, here's a contract.
Yeah, he fell in love with us. He adopted us as soon as Mr. Mix brought us to him. We became his boys. My new boys, Poison Clan. Yeah, that was Luther Campbell.
And also, man, as we already know, you're one of his proteges, man. So I have to ask you, what was one of the most things that you actually took from that mentorship, man? Like, what was the biggest thing you actually learned from him early on in your career?
Ownership of your product, your creation. Because I learned that during the whole band in USA and 2 Live back and forth with him. So I learned to handle business, handle my business, so I wouldn't get in those same situations, you know. Ownership of the product, and one of my favorite lines is he used to say, "Man, that jewelry and them cars, that's for if you ever need money. If things slow down and you need to get some money, you sell that junk, man, and invest back in yourself." So I can't say he taught me that part.
But I gotta say as well, man, especially during the band in the USA days, man, you know, 2 Live Crew most definitely did something that like no hip hop groups or artists were doing, and that was stand up for themselves and actually win in Supreme Court.
Right. Yeah, I was there too. Every step of the way, almost. As soon as it happened, that's when we got signed. Like as it was going down, so we was like flies on the wall, you know, just watching, absorbing, soaking up all the game.
And you were also a member of the iconic group, the Poison Clan. I was wondering, how did you get connected with the other members, and of course, what's the story behind that iconic group?
Yeah, well, you know, we started in high school at Miami Norland Senior High School. You know, I was there, and these 2 brothers came down from New York, and I think they thought I was a New York cat, and I was like, nah, player, I'm from Miami, because, you know, cats used to rap at Norland, so, you know, I used to be in the little battles, and some kind of way we clicked. I guess we had the dopest rhymes at the time, and we just started hanging from there. You know, and then, again, like I said, when Mr. Mix heard us at this club, Big Daddy's 8600 in Miami, it was like history from there.
And also, as well, man, Poison Clan's 1992 song, Shake What Your Mama Gave You, was actually listed by Double XL magazine as one of the top 250 hip-hop songs of the 1990s. I was wondering, how does it feel to know that you actually made hip-hop history so early on in your legendary career?
You know, that's a great feeling. Back then, I felt like I should have. You know, I had this little surety, confidence back then. But, you know, it's good to be actually stamped, you know, where it's a landmark in the game to be officially certified as such. So that's always great. You know, that's something I could pass on to my youngins and the family members get to enjoy it as well, you know. Listen, Shake What Your Mama Gave You still rock the clubs today, man.
Oh, I most definitely wouldn't doubt it, man. I remember being in the nightclub before COVID hit, man, and that song was still bumping down here in Canada, man. So best believe people are still shaking what their mama gave them.
Right, right. See, like I actually tried to stop performing it. You know, I wouldn't do it at some shows, and then it got to a point where they're like, man, you're not gonna do that. Same thing with who that. You know, it's like those hit records. They be big, and then they come and they go. Like it's almost like people get tired of them. But then when they classic like that, they like, no, not that one. You got to do that one. You know. So yeah, that's still a heavy rotation in my playlist.
And I gotta say as well, I most definitely understand as well, because you guys put that song out in 1992. So you know, say I don't blame you for like sometimes taking that out of the show list, man, because it sounds bad. It might get a little like annoying doing the same song every concert for over 20 plus years.
Yeah, well, you would think, but to see the reaction of the crowd, that's what you love. You know, like when it's like, oh, and everybody start getting down. You watch the whole crowd get low, like they just juking to it. You know, the ladies dropping it, and the fellas dropping right behind them to get with them. You know, so maybe I'm encouraging something.
But also as well, man, going on to your solo side of things, man, you were actually featured on Trick Daddy's 1997 album release titled "Based on a True Story." I was always wondering, how did yourself and Trick Daddy get connected, and what was it like working on that phenomenal project? Because you guys have such phenomenal chemistry just on those songs on his album alone.
Yeah, well, you know, he was from Miami. You know, I was down to work with anybody coming out because you got to think before that it was really only Poison Clan standing up for like the street hip hop of Miami. You know, so when Trick came, I felt like I got some help now because you know back then it was like Miami against the rest of the world because they still wasn't trying to hear us then. You know, after all the fights we been fighting and all the the Two Line Crew, you know, fighting the establishment, the powers that be. So I actually did 2 songs on that album, but you know he was coming out and I was supporting him. You know? And I call him my little brother. That's my little brother. Because of that right there, what you just said. You know? I was already doing my thing by 97. We 7 years in.
But I gotta ask you as well, when you were doing that record with Trick Daddy so early on in his career, did you actually think he was gonna be as big as he is today? Because he blew up to be a phenomenon within hip hop.
Well, you never know. I knew he had talent. I knew he had the drive and hunger. Like his mind was there. Like the stuff he used to talk to me about, I wasn't even on that. I was just living the life. But he really planned his career. He had it planned out. So I salute him for that. You know, I never knew how big their label would get. I didn't know, time. You know, you can't see in hindsight, though it makes sense.
And also as well, on May 25th, 1999, you actually released your debut studio album titled Bumpin' on Wax. I was always wondering, what's the story and creative process behind that iconic record?
Yeah, Bumpin' on Wax. Well, you know, that's what they considered what I was doing over the past few years with the JT money, the B-Iza. You know, I created that B-Iza with Poison Clan, but then, you know, that was my solo project, so we just decided to call it Pimpin' on Wax. But the work, you know, I worked with Dallas Austin, Tricky Stewart, Shakespeare, and Tony Mercedes, and, you know, 4 heads was better than one this time.
And I gotta say as well, you had some such phenomenal, just phenomenal like collaborations on that record, man. You know what I mean? Like, just it was one of those records that will always be solidified within hip hop history.
Well, that's good to know. I appreciate that. I think that's part of why I still get booked today. You know, you take those songs like Who That, you take the Shake What Your Mama Gave, the High Lows, and you know, add a few of these underground classics and they keep booking me. You know, I stay working, you know, so I keep putting out new music, you know.
And I gotta say as well, that Too Short collaboration you have on there as well is absolutely phenomenal, man. Like, how did you actually land Too Short actually on your record?
Well, I had the budget at the time, you know. Too Short now, we have been doing shows years prior. You know, I met him years ago, but once we got the budget, I was able to say, hey, man, I got this record, you know. He came through, dropped it that same day, and You know, the rest was history. That was actually supposed to be the second single, but somebody had more pull at priority than we did, and they chose all right. You know, which featured Big Gift, though that was still a good record for me. But that one was Too Short. That would have been the second single. I think that would have took the album over the top.
And your song, Who That As Well, actually won top rap single at the 1999 Billboard Music Awards. I was wondering, what was it like being up there, just accepting that prestigious award? And of course, what was it like collaborating with Soul on that track?
Yeah, well, you know, if you listen to the beginning of the record and you can hear him, he say, "About time." Like, I felt like it was my time now. Like, I've been doing it these first 10 years, but the first 10 years, you know, it was Poison Clan. So by 99, it's JT Money. So to get the award, it kind of solidified and certified everything I thought of, have been doing years prior, you know, and it's a good record, man. It's swinging today, still. You know, a few cats tried to remix it, but hey, you know.
And I gotta say as well, I remember when that music video actually came out on Much Music back in the day, man. You know, that right there was the shit, in my personal opinion, and still is today.
Well, I appreciate you, Blair. You hear me? I love it, though, brother. I love it, man.
And also as well, man, in the year 2005, you were actually in a movie titled Confessions of a Thug, and I was always wondering, man, what was it like partaking in that film, and what actually made you decide to venture into the acting side of the entertainment industry?
Wow. Well, I've always tried to dibble and dabble. I had a few other things that never came to fruition, but again, I was a dude from Daytona. He used to be a promoter. I knew him. He was trying to make records, but then he had his budget to do the movie, and I'm like, well, shoot, let's go. You know, but doing it was like a hip-hop musical. If you listen to it, they were rapping a lot of the lines. You know, we barely spoke. It was almost a hip-hop musical. But, you know, I enjoyed it, and I'm surprised to hear you speak on it. So that let me know how far the movie done got. So that's awesome to me.
And I remember as well, I believe Lady of Rage was actually in that movie as well. Like, it's been so long since I happened to watch it, unfortunately. It's hard to come across that film, unfortunately.
Right. Yep. Lady of Rage was definitely in it. I was in it. A couple more other cats he had featured in there. It was cool. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed making it. And I look forward to doing some more work like that, you know?
And I gotta say, you did a phenomenal acting job in that movie, in my personal opinion, man. So I'm really looking forward, and hopefully some individuals shoot you some scripts in 2021, because I would love to see you in some more films.
Thank you. Well, let's start that campaign. You know what I'm saying? Get JT money and more movies. Let's get JT money and some more films. Well, I look forward to it, though. I'm about it.
And also, recently as well, you actually released OG Perspective, Hidden Gems from the Vault. I was wondering if you could tell our listeners about this newer project. And of course, where can we actually snag ourselves a copy today? Because I gotta say, I actually sat back and been jamming to that record, and I love it, man. You know what I mean? You can tell it's a lot of unreleased music throughout the years.
Yep. Right, and that's what From the Vault Hidden Gems is. I just released that one maybe a month ago, but OG Perspective was a little earlier in the year, and that was like my first album, starting my new company, Undeniable Music Group. And, you know, I just got tired of waiting, so it was time to put out some music. So, you know, listen, I'm still sitting on music that hasn't been released, so there's nothing to fine-tune or update, take a verse off, add a feature, you know. It's nothing to do that, but I think the content, the subject matter, you know, even the quality of the production is kind of timeless. So, you know, I'm still promoting it. I'm still trying to sell it, so I'm glad you mentioned it. So for the listeners, OG Perspective is out right now. And From the Vault Hidden Gems is out right now. Go get it if you ain't heard it.
And the one thing I got to ask you about Hidden Gems, because I was actually wondering, because when you listen to the record, you can tell it's from different years. Like, if you don't mind me asking, what's the year criteria of when these songs were recorded?
I would say 07 to 20 to 19, 18 to 07 to probably 18, something like that, possibly. Yeah.
And I gotta say, it's absolutely phenomenal. So it's always good to have that like old school sound as well. You know what I mean? It's always good to have amazing artists like you still putting out music, man, for us old school hip hop fans to enjoy. Because it's a breath of fresh air, in my opinion, man. There's way too much of that mumble stuff going on, so it's good to have some of that dope JT money still gracing our airwaves.
See, and it's good to be appreciated. Like, I appreciate you even saying that, because that's why I do it. Like, I'm not even in the new era's fight. I'm just serving my people, those who want it, the ones who be like, man, Jay, we ain't going to do something else. We ain't going to give us something else. So I give it to them, you know, and until they say, man, we don't want no more of that junk. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because I love to create the music, and I love showtime. I love to perform, and I love the studio work. I love to create. So that's just, I appreciate you even bringing that up, and thank you, brother.
Hey, you are most certainly welcome. I just love real hip hop, and I've been a fan for a while, man. So it's always good when your favorite artists still bring out some good music.
Awesome, thank you. Well, I'm gonna continue to keep trying, man. I'm gonna keep shooting my shot. I'm gonna keep shooting my shot. Nothing beats fair. Nothing beats fair. You better try. Something like that. If you don't try, you always lose. Something like that.
And also, as well, next month you are actually going to be performing at the 4th of July Music Jam. I was wondering, what can our listeners actually expect from this phenomenal performance? And of course, where can we actually snag our tickets today if they are actually on sale right now?
I'm not sure. I think they got them on Eventbrite and Ticketmaster. But it's in Valdosta, Georgia. It's gonna be big. It's a lot of artists. Matter of fact, the next couple of shows is kind of like that. You know, they got like a bunch of multi-platinum artists. So we're gonna get all ages and all genres of the music, which I love. Because for those who don't know, I like to introduce myself, and for those who do know, I be trying to rock them. I try to rock the mess out of them.
But I gotta ask you as well, JT, because other than the 2 albums you're promoting and, of course, the phenomenal shows that are coming up, what is next for the legendary JT Money? Like, is there anything we happen to miss? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still have you here live on the Canadian airwaves.
Yeah, well, you know, just I was trying to look for Undeniable Music Group. You know, I got 2 of my boys, 2 of my sons, Jay Dollars and Ricky Stacks. I got my little partner, Fat Boy. You know, I got some new up-and-coming artists I'm promoting. And, you know, I got a lot of other songs. Like, I'm working on Feminine Extreme right now. And so far, I got the chick Tokyo Jazz. I got my young brother Pleasant Pete from Pretty Ricky. And, you know, I'm just doing work, you know. I got a song in the works with brother Flow Rider. You know, just, you know, using my connections and using my reach to keep doing music and, you know, get back to the fans, you know. Like a lot of my fans, I thought they started laying down, but what I can do is reach some of their kids. and then get back to them, you know, bring us all back. But like, look, when the music changed, right, I went to the thing about, well, what about people like us who like the old school hip hop, that feel and that vibe? Like, how the powers that be gonna shut us out? Like, now we ain't selling that no more. But it's a market for it. Somebody wants it. You know, that's just how I feel, and that's why I just keep doing what I do. Like I told you earlier, I sell to my people, man. I ain't even trying to chase nothing, you know. It'll happen how it happens, organically.
And I gotta say, I most definitely hear you on that one, JT, honestly. That's why I created 97.7 FM, man, because I was just sick and tired of just the mumble stuff. Don't get me wrong, like, people like it, but I'm old school, man, so I want that real hip-hop and the elements of the hip-hop culture to live on, man, and still get the airplay that it truly deserves, and that's where 97.7, in my personal opinion, comes in.
Well, we sure appreciate y'all, man. I know I do. Cause, you know, it's just cats like yourself. Like, just picture other avenues. They not reaching out, but you guys reached out. So I'm thankful and grateful for that. Like, I get to reach. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's cats like yourself that keep my game going, that keep me moving. So it's greatly respected and appreciated. And I just need y'all to know that.
And I gotta say, I greatly appreciate those kind words, man. It definitely fuels my fire to keep going. But I know you're a busy guy, JT, so I'm not gonna keep you very much longer, man. But before we part ways, if you can, drop them social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything you got going on if they're not already doing so. But like I said, we are an old school hip hop station, man, so I really do hope the listeners are already following you.
Yes. Well, actually, I got hacked over Memorial Weekend. I was up to about 90-something, about almost 100,000 on Instagram, and took my page. I can't get it back, so I started a new one. Instagram is JT Money J Baby, JTMoney JBABY. On Facebook, you just hit at the only JT Money. Twitter is JT Money MIATL, like Miami, Atlanta mixed together, MIATL. And YouTube, you want to see the new videos, just go to JT Money Videos, all one word, and that's my channel. And everything, every page, everything come to this phone I'm talking to you on right now.
And I gotta say, JT, thank you so much, man, for just taking the time out of your busy evening and just coming on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM. Like I mentioned, I've been a fan for a long time, man, so I just want to give you your flowers while you're still here and say thank you for making amazing music that not only myself, but not only helped myself, but helped millions of listeners worldwide as well.
Thank you. Anything I can do, baby. You just put some more fuel in my fire and let me know to keep going. It works both ways, brother.
Hey, most definitely, JT. I want to say thank you so much again for just giving us a little bit of your time. And definitely, man, have yourself a wonderful night. And hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon.
We will. I look forward to coming up there.
Hey, most definitely, you know what I mean? Once you book the concert, I'm most definitely snagging myself some tickets.
All right, give me that.
Most definitely, JT. Thank you so much again, man. Have yourself a great night.